This week's episode of The Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Squarespace.
Tune Up. Your music collection is a mess. Tune Up fixes it automagically.
And Netflix.
All right, everybody, coming up in the show. Last week, we looked forward to 2010. This week, we're looking back at the raddest stuff of '09. We're going to talk about the raddest movie, video game, TV, and maybe just the best stuff to ever happen in '09.
Three rad peers got drunk on the beers they drank as they cheered, ringing in the new year. It's not really clear why Dan's tooth disappeared. He'll need new veneers. Wait, is there a tiger in here? And Alex's sheer panic when he hears that a stripper appeared with a child to rear. Their hangover's severe, but they'll persevere. It's the 2010 premiere of The Totally Rad Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Totally Rad Show, episode number 146. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm freaked out. I'm freaking him out. Dan Trachtenberg.
And Jeff Kanata. Totally Rad Show's weekly dose of all things rad, but guess what, people? Today we look back.
Yeah, this is and alike.
And alike. Dan decided that 2010 was the year of wearing non-corrective lenses. Superfluous glasses. And you know what I say? Good for you, sir. Good for you. I'm going to be wearing my superfluous monocle next week.
I feel like I'm the one that needs glasses because I'm seeing double.
I know. Then we kind of realized. Amazing. Well, by this I mean I put the shirt on.
You know you've been doing the show too long. It's like people who look like they're dogs.
People who look like they're co-hosts.
Yeah. Amazing. Awesome. Well, really, we look alike. So now we look alike. Well, right. Hair. Anyway, this is our third annual Totally Rad award show.
The Raddies. I can't believe we've been giving out the Raddies for 3 years.
I can't believe I never knew we were calling them Raddies.
I didn't either. I can't believe you guys didn't. I forged them in my kiln.
And since we're blazing into the new year,
right?
Perfect background.
Correctamundo.
Matthew Oswald. This is user-submitted background. Matthew Oswald, a viewer of the show, sent it in to us, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's super cool. And now, without further ado, let us get into the best that 2009 had to offer, these rad dudes.
This week in movies, we are talking about our favorite films from the past year.
We're going to try to come up with a consensus of the top Totally Rad Show movie of 2000.
Not always easy. But the way to get there is by naming our 5 favorite films. So here's the thing. Most lists that you guys see out there are top 10 lists.
Yeah, it's hard to get to 5.
So, and we are doing 5. So let me just do a preemptive strike from what I know will happen in forums and on Twitter is we will get, why wasn't this on your list? Blah, blah, blah. There are probably
that was in that movie was in slot 6.
Yeah, exactly. So you really need to understand that
is 6.
And you would be totally cool with that being 6.
Whatever it is you're talking about is 6.
But
on my list.
And I'll probably be backpedaling a little bit on that note. But anyway, let's start.
And one of the things I would like to say just before we start is I think it might be good for us to, rather than rattle off, well, these were close to the end. There's a lot that we are going to not be on these lists, so I don't feel, we could spend a lot of time rattling off all of these movies.
I'm not going to rattle. I don't have any rattling to do, but I have some explanations that I think are apt. So,
okay.
Alex, all
right.
No rattling from you, sir.
No rattling.
Let's.
Are you guys ready?
I'm ready. I'm not looking either.
Number 5, Star Trek.
Good movie.
Right?
Very good movie.
Okay.
Intense. I thought it was a good reboot for the series. I'm excited for what Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan is going to be.
Yes.
Okay.
Have
you seen
it again?
Not yet.
Okay.
But I also have your Blu-ray.
Oh, you have it. That's good.
Well, because Jerry gave it to me because he was like,
okay.
so it's right in there.
We're recording this.
No, because I just want to say that.
Do you want to go get it?
Smash cut. I loved it, of course, everyone.
Yes.
But when I saw it again, lost a lot of love.
Interesting.
The second act is there's not a lot of the story doesn't progress.
Gained a lot of angry emails.
I think that's one of the best openings of any movie ever.
Yes.
But that last half, not so great.
Okay, well, I will see it again, and maybe that.
I'm curious.
will
I'd be
knock it
curious.
down.
I'd be curious. But anyway,
And the mysterious 6 will be now number 5.
yeah, right.
You know what it is. Number 4, Inglourious Bastards.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah,
Okay. So
Why?
everybody was shocked about the Star Trek. Wondering if that's going to be the lone mention. Why? It's a great movie. It was great in the theaters. I really loved it. I saw it again with Heather, and it really. There are scenes in that movie that are so tense, and it's all conversations. There was literally, I was watching the movie and the scene where, I don't know if I should. I mean, I guess it's kind of one of those.
Yeah, don't move on.
Yeah,
We don't have time.
I got it.
Here we go.
Great scenes.
Great scenes. 3 Brothers.
Well.
Yes, another
No,
movie.
it's gonna be on this guy's list.
Yeah, another movie that I was looking through the list of things, and it just kept jumping out at me as like that experience of watching that movie was so intense and satisfying that it was like this has to be on my list.
Yeah.
Number 2, no surprise, Avatar. And I put it at number 2 because I couldn't rightfully say that it was the best movie of 2009 because at the end of the day, the story really isn't that great. And as much as I think it's an okay story and it's definitely passable, there's nothing really new or, I mean, the sort of connecting to the avatars is kind of the only new part of it. But technologically and for a sci-fi geek, it was so amazingly jump forward. It had to be on my list, but I couldn't really.
Okay.
You guys might be surprised what my number 1 was, because this is all in retrospect.
I think I know what it is.
Up in the Air.
I am surprised.
There you go.
I did not know.
Yeah.
Interesting, but good.
And it's a lot of it is just the retrospect of thinking about the movie and thinking about the list of movies. And there's a couple movies that were my number 6.
Yeah.
You know, recheck all of the reviews of movies.
Let me ask you this question.
Shoot.
If we had not been doing the show, would you have even seen Up in the Air?
No.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't think you would have.
I think you would have seen. I don't think you would have seen Brothers.
I definitely would not
But I
have
think
seen
it was,
Brothers.
Up in the Air is like the. You mentioned Jerry Maguire a lot recently, but I think it's like the years like.
Well, but here's
I've
the
gone to see
thing,
it.
and I'll tell you why I wouldn't have seen it. Because I would have seen Juno. Because of all the ba-ba-da. I really actively dislike Juno.
Right.
So the next movie from the guy who made Juno, no matter how much praise it was getting, I'd be like, man, whatever. I hated his first movie and people loved it, even though it was thinking, just looking at it, but first
All right.
I did. Okay. Oh, that was
That's
it.
it, right? Unless you have another surprise.
Nicely done.
Number 0? Do
But
you
now
have a 0 on your list?
I have 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah. Okay. Jeffrey.
Almost all sci-fi movies.
Okay, now this is my list, right? This isn't what I think are the 5 most important movies of the year. This is what I think are the 5 best picture nominees of the year. This is my personal list.
Correct.
I have to say that because my number 5 is Watchmen.
Okay.
Interesting. I was going to raise the point that none of us put Watchmen on our list, but I guess
I had to, and I think that there are probably some movies that deserve being on the top 5 more than that. But for me, the experience of seeing that was so special that I had to put it on my list.
I don't think anybody will fault you for that.
Okay, good. My number 4, The Brothers Bloom.
Yeah.
Love that movie. Love the language.
That was my 6 or 7 or 8.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
With a couple other ones that might show up on lists.
I can't wait to see what Rian Johnson does next, and yeah, it's a fantastic movie if you
Brick
haven't seen
2, Cement Block.
it. Yes. 3 is Up in the Air.
Okay.
Love that movie. Adore it. Adore it.
Interesting.
Number 2, Avatar.
And you're going to say that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It was very difficult for me to narrow down 1 and 2. Very difficult. I flip-flop back and forth. I've seen Avatar twice. I'm going again tonight to see it a 3rd time.
I'm excited to
I haven't
see
seen
what
a
your
movie.
first is.
I haven't seen a movie. I think you should be able to guess. It's the movie I called a masterpiece, Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, interesting.
I think Avatar and Inglourious Bastards for me, either one could have been number 1. The experience of seeing both of those movies were transcendent and amazing and wonderful, and I loved them. And there's 2 movies I want to mention. I know we didn't want to mention lists, but there's 2 movies I want to mention as the best movies that came out this year that you can't even see yet. And those are Best Worst Movie and mother of invention, and I hope that people get a chance to see those movies because neither of them have distribution deals yet. So.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay. Glenn Danzig.
Here's my thing. Let me start from actually doing what you didn't want me to do and saying what you off of what you just said is your number one, Inglourious Basterds. Spoiler.
It's not on your list.
Not on my list.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't.
But here's the thing. I have the privilege. I'm in the Directors Guild. I get to vote on the DGA awards. I am voting for Inglourious Basterds in replace of what my number 5 movie is. Because I think that Inglourious Basterds is far superiorly directed than what's number 5 on my list. But my problem with Inglourious Basterds is that I don't really know what to take away from it. And the way I do my list is I try and pick the ones that aren't just the best comedy, isn't just the best action movie. Those could be 10 or 9 or 8 or whatever, or maybe not even in there. Those are great films. But I try and not only was I laughing so hard, not only was I thrilled more than in any movie, but I was also take away from it something that I always think about. For the best part, I'm always thinking back on that movie and oh, that already, So that's sort of how I do that.
That was not how I chose my list.
Well, but I think Up in the Air is a perfect example of that.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Number 5. And one more thing on Inglourious Basterds, I'll never get a chance. This awesome. A critic I've been reading my whole life, Drew McWeeny, said this amazing thing about
Moriarty
Inglourious
from
Basterds.
Ain't It Cool News.
Right. Used to be. But now go to HitFix. Anyway, so he said in an age of remakes, we've had so many remakes, an age of remakes, Quentin Tarantino remade World War II.
That's pretty cool.
Fascinating. Okay. Anyway, that's my spiel on that. Number 5 for me, 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
That was my 11.
It's on the top 10.
500 Days of Summer. I constantly I've been thinking about it over the past year. It has informed all the relationships I've had it's informed my life. A friend of mine saw it and she totally changed what she was doing in a relationship, And I feel wow, what an incredible movie, and it was hilarious and fun to watch. And anyway, number 4, Brothers Bloom. Absolutely phenomenal movie.
Yeah, that was my 6. 7 or 8.
Every single sentence of that movie I could think about for an hour. And there's a lot of sentences in that movie. And they come so quick, but there's so many profound elements to that movie. Anyway, that's games. Number 3, I'm actually shocked now that I realized this is my number 3 and it's not on your list. District 9.
That was 6, 7, or 8.
It broke my heart a little not to put that in my top 5. It just there wasn't room.
I think District 9.
And I know that people will be angry that it's not on either of our lists.
I'm shocked right now, actually.
It's a great movie.
The problem was this is the way that I did my list. No. I'm happy that it didn't make it into my 5. I mean, I'm not happy, but that means that those 5 were so great.
Right.
I literally went down the list of all the movies that we watched and this whole year and picked out the movies that I was oh yeah, I really like that movie. And I had a list of probably about 15 movies.
Yeah, me too, man.
And it was a great list. And Moon was on that list, and District 9 was on that list, and Brothers Bloom was on that list.
Titles now.
I know.
You know what was on my?
You started it.
And
so
my
I
top
went.
10 actually is Paranormal Activity.
Well, some of that didn't make mine, but
I loved it.
But that Brothers Bloom
would be my top 10.
Brothers Bloom was one of the hard ones for me. That was and so was District 9. It was really hard. But then you go, well, the thing that I loved about District 9 was that it changed the way that I thought about sci-fi and how sci-fi could be presented.
Yeah.
But did it do that better than Avatar, in my opinion? And it was oh,
yeah, well,
you know
that's
what I mean?
the big debate in the interwebs.
But
What's
anyway,
your number 2?
So let me just explain District 9 for a second.
Right.
Because I didn't do that. I just said it, and then you guys said
we
things.
don't have much time here, folks.
So District 9, not only was it an incredible thrill ride, I mean, awesome action sequences presented in a very unique way that I think will really be in our time capsule of 2009, the 2000s?
Yes,
what do we do?
Whatever.
It's
millennial years.
It is there. And, a lot of people are praising this movie called Invictus that's out. We're not going to get a chance to talk about it on the show. It is a terrible movie, in my opinion. And this movie says more profound things about apartheid than a movie about apartheid. Anyway. Number 2 on my list. No idea. What is it? Oh, Brothers. Mm-hmm. So,
nice.
Brothers. Number 1, Avatar.
Interesting.
I mean, that is just That is, I mean, it is more than a movie. You know,
Yeah.
it's cinematic history. So, and I do not feel the way you do about the story. You know, I love the story, and I've been going on podcast after podcast defending its story. So,
the story's okay. It's just to me, it didn't blow my mind.
I have one thing I want to say about
right
Avatar. You know, people talk about the crappy script or whatever, and everybody complains about unobtainium. But you know what?
That's a real word. Unobtainium.
Well, if you went back, even if you went back 50 years and you heard somebody talking about Google and the .com bubble, you would think it sounds ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
And your we, right? People would laugh at you. It would sound. It would never.
But.
No, but I'm just saying that's how short of a time span it takes to have something that sounds ridiculous not sound ridiculous anymore.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
Anyway.
So I think it's pretty clear, right? Avatar's got to win.
Yeah, Avatar's has to be.
So Up
Which
in
is
the
a
Air
big
wasn't
deal.
even on your list?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Top 10, probably.
It's because
That's all right. It's okay.
And Inglourious Basterds wasn't on your list.
So the Ratty
What else
for
were-
2009 goes to Avatar.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident. about that.
deserved.
Well
The
deserved.
other one that I felt bad about not having on my list was Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, that's in my top 10.
yeah.
That's my favorite animated film. I liked it more than Up.
Me too.
I think I'm like
The 21st 20
Princess
minutes
and
of
the
Us,
Frog would have
though.
been better.
But yeah, dude, Avatar, man.
Punch.
Avatar, Ratty.
Reload.
So now we've convened to do the same thing with video games. 2009's best video games of the year. We'll start with Dan Trachtenberg. Dan Trachtenberg of the Totally Rad Show, plus an extra 2 eyes.
Number 5 on my list, Uncharted 2.
I'm surprised it's that low.
I was just about to
I
say,
knew you guys would
now,
be.
the thing that I just did offline that I was like, I don't want that. That's now we're okay.
No, I kind of.
You loved Uncharted 2.
Yeah, it's on my list, but
I toiled with even putting it on my list.
wow.
I think it's
Because you liked the first one more.
yeah, I
forgot.
think that I mean it was weird to sort of just the way you think about games and movies because I don't think it brought enough new to the table to warrant its. You know, it was a great game. And I enjoyed playing it, and it did some better things than the first one, but enough to beat out some other games.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, number 4.
Interesting.
Number 5. That's why.
Okay.
Number 4, Splosion Man, which I said when we reviewed it.
It's a Dan game.
I could not have had more fun playing a game and better. And I mean, great game design, and we had a little bit of fun playing the co-op. I barely even touched that. So there's
We had a
whole
good
different
amount of fun.
layer.
It was a lot of fun. It just we played it for a little while.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
not like we
Yeah,
have a pepper of.
Yeah,
Well, it was
you're
all right. We had a little bit of fun.
Right,
playing
no,
it.
you're right. Better said. Okay, number. What am I on? 3?
Yeah.
3. I almost want this to be higher. Shadow Complex.
Interesting.
One of the most perfect games to come out this year.
That's a big statement.
Wow.
I did not think it was anywhere close to perfect.
Amazing. Platforming,
Neither
incredible.
of those two games are even
And
in my top 10.
Some absolute wow moments. Reinvention of platforming. Reinvention of a kind of game that we've played over and over from the beginning, from my first game experience. Totally updated, and as you play that game, it gets crazier and crazier, and things that you never thought were going to happen are happening, and just awesome.
Okay.
Number 2? Am I on 2?
Yeah, you're on 2.
Number 2?
Are there not numbers on your list?
There are, but I had to do a reordering after the fact of writing it. Number 2, Borderlands. I mean, I kind of said it when we reviewed it, but I think it sort of, Borderlands informs all games that I will play after playing Borderlands.
Right.
And it's a phenomenal game, just a phenomenal game.
Yep.
Number 1, do you guys have any idea what number 1 is?
I have a guess, but it's a total guess, so.
Yeah. Flower.
Interesting. That was not my total guess.
Wow. I'm shocked.
3 downloadable games on this list.
Yeah, you can get.
It's very
You
amazing.
can
You
buy
can
all
get
of
2/3
this,
of your list for less than
$5.
$50.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flower, I've been playing again and again and again, and it actually affects.
Your sleep.
It affects my mood.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And
It's a gorgeous game.
I mean, think about how do you categorize games, right? Graphics, gorgeous. Sound, amazing. Gameplay, spectacular. And like the other things, as you guys know, I really love when game isn't open the door, same experience. Open the door, same experience, right? And I love it when they ratchet up, which Shadow Complex does. Yeah. And Flower, each level like is like a totally new experience. And then I don't know, it just
I agree with you. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah. So,
I have a very bold list for you this year, sir. Bold. Like your
glasses. Like your glasses. Bold. Okay, well I'm gonna shake some stuff up here then, I guess. I didn't even know mine was gonna be a controversial list. It's not controversial. Here we go. Number 5. Resident Evil 5.
Whoa! Forgot that even came out. Interesting.
That game.
I love that game.
That game. It came out early.
Yeah.
And I forgot that it even came out in 2009. Who am I? I'm a guy who loves co-op. Co-op.
Who am I?
Honestly, playing that game front to back with Dan on co-op, unbelievable experience.
Like you,
I will say, we had some memorable moments.
Like you
That's what I want.
have been on many a podcast defending Avatar's story.
Yeah.
I've been on many a podcast defending Resident Evil 5. There's a lot of haters out there. I agree with you. It would be on my top 10 for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I know what? I guess not a memorable experience for me. Other than that, I will always
so
remember
great. The scream.
The scream.
The scream heard around the world.
But seriously, it is a co-op horror game, and the thing that you remember from playing that game is my screams of horror.
Yeah.
That to me
cool.
says winner.
I like that.
Number 4, Uncharted 2.
All right.
Yeah.
It's on the list.
Really
it's on the
fun.
list.
It's
Solid.
really fun. Solid game. Number 3, Torchlight.
I knew you were gonna say it.
Yeah.
That's
You
didn't surprise
rediscovered.
me. I knew you were gonna say it.
Rediscovered.
I saw your Twitters.
Holy crap. So when we reviewed Torchlight, I had played it a good amount. I got to level like 11 or 15 or whatever. But there was something about it. I wasn't really getting mellow. I got bored the other day, and I was like, oh man, I wish there was something. I've been downloading way too many MMOs because of the holiday season. I've been playing EVE Online. I'm trying EverQuest 2. It's crazy. I tried Planet Calypso. It's really ridiculous. All because I finished the main storyline of Torchlight. So I'm a level 49 Vanquisher. I'm in the Shadow
Holy
Vault.
pips.
I then started over and tried very hardcore, which means as soon as you die, your character's dead forever. Got to level 8, played it a little tipsy, died. Can't play very hardcore.
What is it that has won you over? Why do you?
You know, it just really locked into the leveling progression and the fun. I mean,
You're
it's
going to
Diablo.
flip when Diablo 3 comes
I
out.
know that when Diablo 3 comes out, because the reason why this is 3 on my list and not 1 is simply because of there's no multiplayer.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was even 2-player multiplayer in this game would have been the best game of the year, hands down, in my opinion. Hands down.
That's pretty big.
So,
and they made it in a very short amount of time.
They
It's
did,
not
and
expensive.
they're doing an MMO, and all that stuff is great. So, number 2, Modern Warfare 2. Another game that they take. I mean, it's just
it's self-explanatory.
It's self-explanatory. And again, I got deep into the multiplayer on this game, even more so than Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1.
Modern Warfare 2, 6, 7, 8 on my list somewhere.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 1.
Sure, of course.
Number 1. Borderlands.
Yeah,
of course.
Ooh.
This game is everything that I want in a game. And like Dan said, it's not just that the game is amazing. It's not just that the 4-player multiplayer drop-in, drop-out co-op is done to perfection. It's that this game shows other game developers how you need to progress, how you should be putting out your games. I mean, you know, even Modern Warfare 2, in some respects, I played a little bit the Shadow Ops stuff, or the Spec Ops, or whatever it was, the co-op stuff, and it's just not co-op. And I know that there are some games, you know, Robert Bolin talks about how they'll put co-op in games when that's how that game experience should be, and that wasn't what they were doing with Modern Warfare 2, and I appreciate that. But the things that are going to be coming out that are going to be Borderland-like are going to blow my mind.
And they're really smart post-release, too. They're doing a lot of really smart things with DLC and listening to what the audience wants. It's going to be very exciting to see.
Now, that said, I did play it again on PC, and the PC version is gorgeous and super fun. The online mechanic is horrible. The setting up friends stuff, it's horrible. It makes me pine for the 360.
What's in the other room, you know?
I know.
Okay. Okay, so my number 5, I really wrestled with. There was a lot of games that jockeyed for number 5. I wish I could have found room for Assassin's Creed 2, and I really, really wanted to put Street Fighter 4 on my list. But I didn't have room because I had to put Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised isn't on there.
That was right.
Especially you, because
I really discovered and liked it, but top 10?
Yeah.
Yes, top 5?
No. Yep, exactly.
Fantastic game. Number 4, and I'm really sad this isn't on either of your lists either. Red Faction Guerrilla.
I really dislike that game.
Dude, it was, I'm telling you, man, it's like, the problem is I didn't finish it. And it's a big game. And I started to get a little bit.
so good.
Well, I agree.
It had no right to be that good.
Yeah.
Coming from that franchise, what they did with the destructibility of the environments is so satisfying and never gets any less satisfying. It is freaking awesome. I love that game, and I think it's underrated.
It also has a very good score, by the way. We never talked about great music in that game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 2 is Borderlands for me, for all the reasons everybody has said.
Did you skip 3?
Number 3 is Borderlands. Excuse me. Number 3 is Borderlands.
Oh, interesting.
There's no numbers on my list either.
What do you guys?
3 is Borderlands.
It's one pen does the same thing.
But I agree with you guys. Really, and a game that came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be any good. Everybody thought it was being put out to pasture because of its release date being right before Modern Warfare 2 and all that stuff.
And the total graphics overhaul.
Yeah, I mean,
midway
it
through,
just seemed like it was going to be a duck, and it came out and
was
rocked.
a swan.
It was a swan.
Thank you.
Number 2 is a game that it is a crime that it is not on either of your lists because it might be the best game of the year. It might be the best game of the last 5 years.
Is this pad?
No. Oh, Scribblenauts? No. Remember, I was disappointed with Scribblenauts.
Yeah.
It's not the pad.
New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Wait, I didn't. See, here's the thing, Jeff. That and Red Faction Guerrilla, I was like, I didn't finish those games. How can I possibly put on my list games that I played poor? You know what I mean? Like, and there's games that I devoured.
Yeah.
You know, but
it is as perfect a game as I think it's perfect. And I'll tell you a quick story from this last vacation I was just on. I went to Utah with some friends, family, a bunch of people. Brought my Wii, brought New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Yeah.
Hooked it up in the living room, and people were going crazy. And these are not people that are used to playing video games. It's not people who own video games or.
Well, that was Super Mario Brothers. My dad got addicted to Super Mario Brothers on the NES.
It is.
I mean, that's what.
Perfect. And it is fun with 1 player. It is more fun with 2 players, more with 3, and more with 4. It is
it though?
So incredibly fun.
With
He
4
just said
people,
it was.
though?
He just said it was.
Okay. That was my question. It's like I had too many questions.
I think so.
That I could, because I was like, did I have
It's
more fun?
crazier and less precise, possibly, if you're with people who aren't precise. But it could be
Interesting.
It may very well be the best game of the year. But for me, number 1, Uncharted 2. I didn't have.
Wow.
That experience to me was. It was the best experience I had playing a video game all year. It really was.
Interesting.
As a.
You know what we're gonna do?
Oh,
I think it's Borderlands.
Yeah, it's got to be Borderlands.
Okay, good. I like that.
Why did you not? That's why.
I thought I was gonna have to concede on Uncharted 2. I thought you guys were both gonna have it higher than Borderlands.
It's weird that I thought you would be the big guy on Uncharted 2.
Me too.
At the beginning of the year.
That's literally the I was like, Uncharted 2 was okay, but I was like,
a great
there are so
game.
many more
It's a
games that
great
are
game.
better.
I think you guys liked it more than me. You know.
Yeah,
I just
shocking.
as a movie, it's like okay, good. It's another more of what I liked, but. Can I put that higher than, oh my God, I never had an experience like Flower. I never had an experience like Shadow. I mean, I've never seen a game like that. You know what I mean? How can I put that higher than that, you know?
Well, and Borderlands, so that we, in Borderlands, obviously winning the Ratty for best video game
That's
of
right,
09
Ratty.
from
Ding,
us.
ding, ding. Yes.
The thing that gets me so excited is the anticipation of what other game companies are going to do with this clearly a device that people like.
That's kind of unfair to say that what other game. I think they're.
I want to see what there's going to be.
Yeah,
no,
But I think to be specific,
it's game.
like playing together with 4 people and having a very an incredible first-person shooter experience with other people and a leveling and a role-playing experience that was like I said.
Well,
this in
that's
our
what's
review.
wrong with the game, and that's why it's not higher on my list. That's why it's 3 instead of 2 or 1, is because the role-playing experience is very shallow.
I didn't find that. I enjoyed
Well,
the
it's deeper than any first-person shooter.
But for me, playing Torchlight, playing Dragon Age and Mass Effect in terms of leveling up, not in terms of story and role-playing story-wise, but in terms of leveling up. And to me, the Borderlands experience was far more engaging and...
Yeah, the only thing you're missing are the pure stat number bumping. Everything else is the same.
I disagree.
Picking your
That's
trees,
not what I'm
you're
talking
pulling
at
the
all.
things.
I'm talking about the fact that there are really
We're debating our winner.
Yeah, I mean, there's really just money, ammo, or guns that drop.
Well, no, that's true.
And
So you
there's
mean the
no
outfitting. And
There's
all that
really
stuff?
no role playing. There's no role. It's a leveling mechanic on top of a first-person shooter.
Right.
And that's it. And there's no role play. There's nothing like Dragon Age where you're experiencing a story and you're making decisions. And there's no.
No. It's
No, I don't-
the
I don't-
role-playing leveling mechanic, not role-playing.
But I think that's the
as it
same
were.
thing with Torchlight. I'm not role playing a story of a. I think there's. That,
Well, I wouldn't call Torchlight a role-playing game either. It's
That's
not
all right.
really.
Let's-
all right.
Borderlands!
It's a dungeon crawler. But Borderlands, congratulations, fantastic game.
Great game. We all loved it.
Everybody, so we are going to try to come to a consensus on the best television show of 2009. We are actually not going to look at crowning Lock and Key as the best comic book of 2009 because we really only saw we only read a couple. So that said, TV is a little bit different because we didn't really review everything that came out in 2009. And
we don't watch everything
that comes out. And so and this is actually Jeff's idea, which I think is good, is we're just going to kind of talk about the shows that maybe they're not new to 2009, but they're new to us, or that we've fallen in love with. The top 5 shows that we are currently watching that are new to us. And Jeff, I think you were right. We're avoiding talking about TV shows that we have already talkked about.
Yeah, so because
I would just say Mentalist again, and
with TV shows
that we've already awarded
or talked about in
the
past.
difference between TV shows and everything else is that TV shows continue, and so you continue watching this stuff. So we can all talk about Lost again because Lost was phenomenal again.
Yeah.
But it's just not interesting. So let's
which is
clearing the slate.
again.
I know it's just
clearing the slate.
Okay. So that said, Jeffrey Kanata, what is your top 5 list?
You look like a Jimmy Olsen over there.
Yeah, see? Okay, my number 5, again, very tough to get because I really wanted to put Curb Your Enthusiasm back on there because I think it refound its voice and the Seinfeld stuff was so funny.
Yeah.
But I went with a recent entry, which is James May's Toy Stories, which we just talked about, I think, last week, right?
We did, yeah.
And I really fell in love with that show, and for all the reasons I mentioned last week. And I really wanted to mention it again. It's a UK show, so it's not easy for United States viewers to see right now, but it's worth keeping an eye out for. If
it's on YouTube. I could watch the first few episodes on YouTube.
Yep.
It's great.
Legal.
Illegally.
Free. No, it's legal.
Well, not for the guy who put it up.
For the watcher.
For the watcher, it's legal. That's what the glasses are for.
It makes it all
Yes,
legal.
my name is Don. I watch it illegally on YouTube.
It's like the sheet with the hole in it.
Yeah, right. That's horrible. Let's go.
Number 4.
Is that a Jewish?
No, it was some sort of weird.
Number 4 for me is Community. Really fun. In fact,
really fun.
Really
Moving on.
fun show. I love the characters. I love the writing. I love the little beats after the credits. This is probably the funniest part of the show.
My TV always cuts them off.
Ahmed and okay. Number 3. Number 3.
Next year, I'm going to give you guys numbers.
I should have written a number down.
Just little stickers.
Number 3 is HBO's Hung.
Wow.
You can. Oh, okay.
Great show, and I can't wait for the 2nd season. It's
What happens if none of my shows are on your list?
that's bad. Basically,
I know.
Basically, the premise of Hung shouldn't have resulted in a great show, but it did.
Interesting.
It did.
I know you're number 2. Are you on 2?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know it. Can I say it with you?
No, don't.
Modern Family.
Ah.
Yes, and you know my number 1 as well.
Of course.
Modern Family is so great, and
It is really tough.
It's amazing how many sitcoms half-hour are on my list because I usually don't like them, and it's everything. The last 3 have been all sitcoms, which is crazy for that. Yeah. But Modern Family is even better because it's hilarious, it's smart, it's witty, it has fantastic characters, and it also has heart. It also communicates a wonderful message of family, and some of the episodes are so beautifully structured. Great show.
Nice.
Number 1, Clear Eyes, Full Hearts. Cannot lose.
Yeah.
Although we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if they can or can't.
Friday Night Lights changed my year. It really changed my year. It changed my Halloween costume.
It did.
Really affects your physical
If you haven't given it a chance
Dan's
yet,
only wearing glasses because of that show.
if you haven't given it a chance yet, I urge you to rent the first season. You know, it's great.
Yep. On Netflix, watch now too.
And my number above 1 is The Shield still for the 3rd year in a row.
Amazing.
That's our winner. That's clearly our winner.
Always. All right, Dan. Let's see if any match.
Okay. So my number 5. 5 was a tough spot. 5 was my dessert spot. Where there shows that
we might have the same.
It's like, honestly, the thing for my TV,
we might have
whereas
the same
my games and movies, I feel passionate about, and I couldn't narrow it down. TV, I'm sort of like, I like that show. That could go, right? Number 1, 2, and 3, they're I loves, but 5 and so I will just say that I toiled with Entourage, not a profound, not always hilarious, but it's I just want to I put that on my TiVo first because it's dessert. Community, the same thing. Not always hilarious. Often funny, sometimes smart, but always just fun easy to watch, not a chore by any means. But what I actually put for my number 5 is Bored to Death.
Oh, interesting.
So I'd only watched the first couple.
Tweet, yeah.
I only saw the first couple episodes back in the day, and then I was like, I gotta clear this off my TiVo, and maybe I will. I liked them, I didn't love them, and as I started, it's a premise that can't lose. It's a premise about
Parker Lewis,
a writer.
Yeah.
Who needs money, so he decides to be an unlicensed private detective. So it's like it's sort of that, like, what would you do if you were just solving cases like a private detective?
And we're also a stoner.
Yeah. Jason Schwartzman plays private detective. Zach Galifianakis from Hungover.
Ted Danson's in it.
Ted Danson's in it. I don't think Jason Schwartzman is actually the best casting choice for this show. I think it would have been better without him, though he sometimes does bring stuff to the table that is unique to him that does make it good. But it's just such a fun show. I just have fun watching it. That's my 5.
Okay.
That's my spiel. Number 4 is Modern Family.
Yay!
Hilarious, and as Jeff said, very poignant. You think it's all for laughs, and in the end, it actually is saying something, not despite its laughs, but because of its laughs. And the pilot episode of that show is one of the smartest structured pilots of any show. And the whole show, the rest of the series, sort of maintains that to a degree, but it's just a really clever, good, well-made sitcom. Number 3, here's my other spiel. Number 3, So You Think You Can Dance.
Did you put that on your list last year?
I don't know, did I?
Maybe, I don't know.
I thought I never did. But here's my reality TV slot, because I spend most of my time...
I broke down his slot.
Most of my time watching reality television. And I think a lot of people love reality television, like Dane Cook or Shia LaBeouf or Avatar to some people. It's sort of like this thing that people enjoy bashing.
Oh.
You know what I mean? They sort of judge its surface value and say, it's all trash, blah, blah, blah. First of all, let me just say that So You Think You Can Dance, the reason why it's my number 3, the reason why I love it is I've always loved musicals. I didn't really think I loved dance that much, but because of this show, I realized how I never saw it as storytelling and as art the way that I view all my other mediums. And out of all the competition shows, the judges on the show are not there to be on TV. They really do care passionately about what they're doing. And every week, it's a cause for what it's about.
I just realized I think Dan's going to put Jersey Shore on his list.
No. But this is that slot. But I almost put Jersey Shore on my list because what I want to say about reality television and why it deserves to be put on a number 3 slot is that I feel so privileged that we get that we have reality TV. I mean, every other era in life, no one knew anything. We don't. Now we
just noticed your glasses again.
Now we know.
It's because you're talking about reality.
All right. That's not okay. Hold on. Now we to see the the Jersey Shore kids that are complete ridiculous, and but I never would have seen that side of what, and that is happening. It's not like, oh, they're just on I mean, I grew up around that, going down the shore, and now they had the window into that, and then shows like Little People Big World, and then the real world that is sometimes trashy, sometimes, but it's all like, there's people living their lives, and I'm like it's somewhat voyeuristic, but I feel so privileged that I get to see aspects to life that in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and well before then, no one ever knew that about each other. We didn't know these
I think this is a
things.
whole different discussion to get into, but I completely disagree with that. I don't think any of what you're seeing on that is real. I think it's...
Okay, well, either way,
yeah.
slot 2.
Yes. Oh, slot 2.
Yeah, we have a list to do.
Slot 2, Curb Your Enthusiasm. So
there's no way we're gonna pick a TV show.
Yeah, Curb Your Enthusiasm. As I even said to you guys when it was first airing, I was like, I've totally not fallen out of love with Curb Your Enthusiasm the past few seasons. I loved the first 3, and then it got totally ridiculous for me. But this season of television was monumental. I mean,
it was good.
Seinfeld was I mean, that is like Star Wars for TV in a way. And what they did, what the season of Curb Your Enthusiasm did, in terms in the reunion of the Seinfeld cast and the way they handled that was so smart and so clever and very funny show. All right,
cool,
loved it. Number 1, Friday Night Lights. I mean, and not only that, but not only as on the whole as a show, but judging this year, 2009, as you heard us rant and rave about how much we loved the show, but this season, which is the one that we're giving the award to, airing in 2009, I mean, totally, reinventing itself, still being about the same thing, but in a different way.
Yeah.
And now before it was about the Yankees, the team with all the wealth and how they can judge, how they can stay the champions, and now it's like Dangerous Minds or
Bad News Bears.
Bad News Bears, and it's about how do you take these underdogs and make them, but now it's saying things about race and
cool.
Amazing.
All right, Alex.
So before I get to my list, I'm going to say
None of it
clearly Friday Night Lights has to win the best, the raddest show of 2009 because none of my shows made either of your lists.
Interesting.
And now,
I like Friday Night
But the fact that you guys have made Friday Night Lights your number 1, in my opinion, there's no way that it couldn't.
I appreciate that.
I think it's just the law of averages.
Or, yeah.
All right, what is your list?
So number 5, my candy is, of course, Jersey Shore.
Oh!
That show blows my mind.
inside.
That show blows my mind. The fact that people actually exist like that, and that there's a whole city of them dancing, makes me
Fist pumping.
so happy inside. That those people don't go out at night in Atlantic City or in the Jersey Shore.
All of a sudden we have a situation.
The fact that they don't go into a club and everybody laughs them out of that club, the fact that they live inside their own world as a group of thousands of people is the most amazing thing that's ever happened in my life. Jersey Shore.
Number 4.
Number 4, you guys may not watch this show, and I think you guys should, because as far as reality TV goes, quote unquote, or docu-TV, this is the best that's out there in my opinion, Pawn Stars. Pawn Stars is on.
Posters.
You have got to watch this show. It is
Are you thinking
about
of jokes right now?
It is about a pawn shop in Las Vegas that's owned by 3 generations of guys. There's the grandfather, the father, and the son, and literally all they do is have this amazing memorabilia and historical stuff come into the shops. They then have people come in and appraise them and make sure that they're real and all that stuff. And then there's this negotiation of trying to get to a price. It's unbelievable. And they found the most charismatic guy in reality television right now is the father who owns this business. And you have to watch it. Pawn Stars on History
Charismatic
Channel.
than John or Kate?
So, number 3. Boy, my list, it's really, none of your stuff was on my list.
We have different TVs.
Number 3 is Law & Order SVU. That was not on my list. I went back. There are some Law and Orders that I love. There's Law and Orders that I love. SVU is by far my, and I love procedural dramas. Number 2, I understand why this isn't on your list, but I'm sort of surprised. Glee.
Oh, I don't watch it.
I didn't
Yes,
like that.
no, I know. You guys stopped watching it, and that's cool. That show, there's never been a show, in my opinion, that every episode, there are moments that make me cry. Every episode. And yes, that might be Friday Night Lights for you. I enjoy this show. I mean, it's talking about melding the love of really good character, really good writing, really good drama, and emotional stuff with comedy, which we all love, but also with musicals. Yeah. It's always amazing musical numbers. And yes, there are some episodes that kind of fall a little bit flat or the characters, but the season finale was like answered all of my prayers. All of the things that I thought were nitpicky and like BS storylines I wanted them to be done with all hit the fan.
That's the best kind of season finale. That's like the Mad Men season finale of this past season.
I'm in. My number 1 show is a little show called Lie to Me. Not many people. I don't know if people are watching the show.
I know a lot of people that love it. And you know who's the series runner on that?
Who?
Sean Ryan.
Well, that makes sense because it's
The Shield.
He makes the best.
Well, I guess that's our de facto winner.
Yeah, right. When this first came out, I put it off as just an attempt to steal ratings from The Mentalist, which was my other favorite show, because it's a very similar premise.
Absolutely. It's a guy with magic powers.
Guy with magic powers who couldn't solve crimes. Exactly. Yeah. That said, continuing to watch this show makes me realize how different it is from The Mentalist. I watch both. I enjoy both. The Mentalist was my top last year. It still is probably my top show. But Lie to Me. So I would say, because nothing's on that's on my list, I think Friday Night Lights, because I did enjoy Friday Night Lights. It's
awesome.
So Friday Night Lights, 2009.
Clear Eyes, Full Hearts.
Ratty for TV.
What do you say?
So, in lieu of doing an email this episode, we thought what we should do is maybe talk about the things in 2009 that we really liked, but maybe weren't movies, video games, or television shows.
Yeah, we're kind of adding a new category.
A new category, the Potpourrat, as it were. That's mispronounced.
Top 5 of everything else.
No. We're going to go to get the sponsors. So before we get to that, we do want to thank our sponsors, such lovely sponsors at Squarespace.com. If you have a website, if you have a desire to make a website, check out Squarespace.com. Amazing hosting options. But not only that, the WYSIWYG editor and the themes that they have, like the standard layout stuff that you can choose from, unparalleled on the interwebs. Also, if you set up an account with them, you set up a website through them, you can download their iPhone app for free and access tons of information about your site stats, up to the minute,
cool.
Viewerships, as well as being able to post directly from your iPhone to your website. Unbelievable stuff. So if you head over to squarespace.com and if you sign up now, use the code TRS when you check out and you'll get 10% off the entire lifetime of your website.
I get to tell you about TuneUp, which is an awesome program that plugs right into your iTunes. And if you're like me, you have a bunch of tracks that you've gotten from all kinds of different places. Sometimes you ripped a CD that you own. Sometimes you downloaded stuff. And I'll have like Radiohead, and then I'll have another one that's Radio Spacehead, and then I'll have Capital Radio, Capital Head. It'll all look all weird, and it'll kind of mess up the alphabetization. Easy for me to say. What TuneUp does is it auto-magically goes through your entire list. If you have stuff that's just track 1, track 2, track 3, it matches the length and the ID of the song with a database that it maintains, and it will identify even unidentified tracks, and it will change all the stuff that's not uniform and make your entire iTunes library pristine, clear, awesome. Very cool.
Amazing.
And it's only, you can get a lifetime license for $29.95, which is awesome, or you can get the yearly version for $19.95.
Wow.
And if you use our promo code when you check out, if you type in totally rad at checkout, you get 15% off. 15% off. Wow. That's
hardcore.
Awesome.
That's hardcore.
It's super great. I actually have used it, and it really does make my whole thing much easier to use and cleaner.
Nice. Dan?
Netflix. Netflix is, of course, online renting. They have well over 90,000 titles. Most Blu-ray titles. I have a Blu-ray of Wizard of Oz sitting on my
Blu-ray table.
Blu-ray table right now. It's blue and there's like light beams coming out. And they have 40 shipment centers, so you get your movie basically the next day whenever you have it at the top of your queue. Instant streaming, which the other day I had the Billy Ocean theme song to Jewel of the Nile stuck on my head, and I was like, man, it's been years since I've seen Romancing the Stone, which was its part 1. And lo and behold, Netflix instant streaming, bam, watching it in 2 seconds.
Nice.
Was severely let down by that experience, regardless of how quickly I was able to watch it.
Amazing.
So plans start as low as $4.99. If you go to www.netflix.com/TRS, sign up to get a 2-week free trial.
Nice. WWWs are important.
They are.
Good for remembering.
Yeah.
Also, the guys over at Techzilla and HD Nation are off to the world's largest consumer electronics show in Las Vegas. CES is happening right now. So head over to revision3.com/CES to check out all of the consumer electronics.
I'm so glad I don't have to go, because we get just as, Patrick and Veronica can go for us.
Yeah.
And we get just as good coverage by watching their stuff.
Yeah, totes my goats. So, 2009 has come to an end, gentlemen. Welcome to 2010. I would like to know, of your two brains, and then maybe I'll say some stuff, what were your top 5 moments of the year?
I'm surprised that
everything else is.
Totes My Goats. What was the movie that had that in it?
I Love You, Man.
I'm surprised it wasn't.
It's
top 10.
Top 10. Okay. It's on my list. It was tough. It's my favorite comedy of the year.
Yeah.
Do we go?
Hangover.
Okay.
Jeff.
Okay, so this is just everything else, right? Stuff that doesn't fit into our usual categories. So 2009, number 5, gotta say, Mike.
Right.
Oh!
He's
my 6. He's my 6.
I just made you guys look bad.
He's my 6.
We got Mike in 2009, and actually, I'm gonna lump in with Mike Nikki Smith and Dennis Calero and all the people that have helped make our revamp of our show.
Definitely.
I'm very proud of how the show looks this year.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're so lucky to have Mike working hard on our show. So that's my number 5. Number 4, apps.
Interesting.
I think this is in a lot of ways the year of the app. And I wrote down a couple of the ones that are my favorites. Duel. Duel is amazing. Amazing. I can't wait for my
You need to say, Alex has an app making company.
Yes.
And they made an app called Duel.
Yes,
Did you talk about it already?
I must have lost my free download code.
It's out.
I'll give you guys free download.
And you duel each other like Han Solo and Greedo.
Yeah, it's Bluetooth.
However, that didn't make my list.
Should have.
I Swap Faces. If you haven't tried it, it's awesome. Dragon Dictation, amazing.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about my iPhone now, Words with Friends. It's basically Scrabble for iPhone, but it's perfect.
Amazing.
Perfect. Okay, number 3, geocaching.
Oh, interesting.
We discovered that this year, and I love it. It's a wonderful thing. I think a lot of people that watch our show discovered it along with us. It's been around for a lot longer than this year, that's for sure, but this was the year that we discovered it, and I absolutely love it.
Amazing.
Number 2, in a big way.
Geocaching's good. It should be on my list.
It's not.
Number 2, in a big way, this year was the year of the board game for me.
Interesting.
Oh my God.
We'd been playing.
Oh my God.
My list is horrible. My list sucks.
Dan's having a list envy. But we've been playing Munchkin, for a long time. But this is the year that we discovered.
My list is moving in with my girlfriend.
This is the year we discovered Settlers of Catan, Puerto Rico, Cutthroat Caverns.
It was going to
keep talking.
No, I love it. I love it.
Board games.
Damn it. Board games are so much better than moving in with my girlfriend.
That's my 6.
And number 1 of everything else for me this year is the Song of Fire, Ice and Fire series on my Kindle.
Oh,
I'm kind of combining the two.
That's good, that's good.
The experience of reading, you guys I have to thank for getting me my Kindle, which I love, although when the new tablet comes out, I may be
It won't be e-paper, so it'll strain your eyes.
And I've been loving George R.R. Martin's. It took me a long time to get around to reading it, but it has consumed my reading. I can't wait to start up my Kindle and read every night.
Awesome.
So
that's really cool.
Yeah,
it's a good little 09.
Thank you,
Daniel.
Well,
with your girlfriend.
Okay, board games. It's on there for sure. Cutthroat Cabins.
Apps, board games, and Mike.
Amazing.
This is my number 6.
My number 5 is the LA food truck sensation.
Nice.
That's good.
Something that 90% of the people who are watching don't get to experience,
Well,
but
we have a lot of LA listeners. From Kogi Barbecue, which is the Korean barbecue taco truck, to the South Philly experience, I
have not done that yet. I'm
truck,
so excited.
The grilled cheese truck that gives you delicious grilled cheeses with tomato soup.
Tomato soup.
Yeah, tomato soup. It's amazing. You follow them on Twitter. Or you go to their websites and
the grilled cheese just beat up Mike.
Yeah. And you find out where they are.
The first time.
And you go and you get really delicious food right away. And it's like getting a cheesesteak, and it's a really good cheesesteak. Number 4 for me is going to the Grand Canyon with my dad and my bro.
Nice.
I didn't love the entire trip. There was a lot of motion sickness, but I will never forget sleeping basically naked. But not actually at night.
You still had his glasses.
No tent, no nothing, and it looked like day. And my brother was filming with the little flip cam, and it's complete darkness.
Yeah.
But to that naked eye, I mean, it's daytime. I will never forget that sight.
Wasn't wearing his glasses.
Number 3. Bob Ross and me. I finally fulfilled a lifelong fantasy.
You did paint.
I got Bob Ross. Well, the problem is, now it didn't turn out so well. I now know that
Alex and I disagree heavily.
I
will
thought it
never
was very
forget.
good.
Part and parcel of this is the moment that you guys saw my Bob Ross painting and did not believe that I did it.
Because it's so good.
But. It was just I fantasized about it my whole life, and I finally got to do the thing that I fantasized about. And I also was dressed as him. To clarify, so I got the kit, and I actually painted along with Bob Ross. Amazing. Number 2, Twitter. So much, not unlike my feelings about reality television.
Which you guys should discuss later.
So goes with Twitter. I feel so privileged to get insights into so many things I never would have had the insights into.
Now, Dan.
And formed relationships with people I have genuine, actual friendships now in the flesh with people that never would have happened without Twitter. And there's not just what we do, but I have friends that have businesses now, thriving businesses, and what they do in their daily life that could not have been possible without the invention
the taco truck phenomenon would not have happened if it wasn't.
Exactly. And those guys,
now let me ask you this, though. We've been doing Twitter more than just this year. Are you feeling like it came into its own?
This year is the year The View, CNN. This was the year that it really became.
Because Twitter's been around for like 3 years.
And it was a insiders club before that and fun for those reasons.
Yeah.
But now it's nice that I don't mention it and I get grown from what's Twitter, and also it's become, see, I was right. Why were you laughing at me?
Twitter. So number 1 is vindication.
Yes. Number 1, vindication. Number 1, as predicted. Moving in with my girlfriend. So not only getting my, I used to live in a guest house.
Although how bad would it be if the ratty goes to Dan moving with his girlfriend?
So I moved.
That was on my list.
We're all fans of it.
Before this year, I was living in a guest house in my brother's house.
Yeah, it was
I'm paying
nice
rent. It was an
guest
apartment,
house.
and it was all that. But it wasn't like totally my own place, and I wasn't living with my girlfriend. And that experience has been amazing. It's everything I always wanted when I was a kid, fantasizing about having that experience, watching love movies and all that stuff. Right.
Love movies.
Not saying that. Romantic comedies and all that stuff.
And
sitcoms like King of Queens. I was like, I want to have that fun relationship with the chick, and we're making fun of each other and yelling, but it's fun and we love each other. And that's what's happening.
There's a studio audience.
And on top of that, she has the dog that I've inherited, and I've absolutely adored raising the dog, and it's something that I don't have to walk the dog every day. And I always thought, I never thought I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I actually take a lot of pleasure in shaping, that
dog
life.
Shaping.
Yeah. Basically
it's
grooming.
basically Fable 2. It's Fable 2.
It's Fable 2.
Okay. Amazing list. So my list is sort of in no particular order. And also it had, well, okay, I'll put a random order on it. But also it was more sort of experiences that I got to have over the course of 2009. So I guess I'll just number them. Number 5, bungee jumping.
I was almost made my list.
I knew that was
my list.
I know it.
I'm disappointed. No,
I know. It's number 6.
Bungee jumping was so unbelievably fun. I mean, not to mention the fact that you three guys
kind
were
of didn't
with...
want to do it a little bit. You
Oh,
were
yeah.
a little reluctant.
I was reluctant.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going to do it. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
you know. And the fact that we got it on tape... That I can look back
agree, dude.
and I mean, and better than the like cheesy DVD that you get, like we got it on tape. You know what I mean? Yeah. Mike doing the like over and watching go down, like it.
For sure.
So much fun, so much fun. Number 4 is South by Southwest.
Oh, yeah.
The whole experience of going to South by Southwest, going and having all the great, being in South by Southwest for the first time and doing all the film festival stuff. Delicious barbecue, and then doing a great...
I had so many ribs.
It was so good, and then doing a great TRS show was so much fun, and then to be able to do a show in front of almost 3,000 people, if not more, it is really just an experience that I know very few people get to have, and will be cherished for me forever. I mean, it was unbelievable.
And I'm really sad. I don't know if we're gonna be able to go this year.
We might.
I hope.
We'll see. Number 2, along the same sort of lines, is going on the Jimmy Fallon show.
Well, yeah.
Doing, getting to go and do late night television on NBC. Was a bit of a thing. That was a bit of a...
One would imagine.
That was a notch, I believe.
That's like moving in with your girlfriend style.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think
And I moved.
offended by that.
And I moved in with my girlfriend my fiance in 08.
That's
so.
last year's ratty.
Yeah, that was last year's ratty.
Can't repeat ratty.
And the number 1 I think may have helped spawn the concept for this is getting my pilot's license has been unbelievable. The fact that I can go and get into a plane.
Do you have your
and
license?
Fly it. I don't have it yet, but I can go and get a plane. Basically, I don't have the license that says like I can take friends, but the fact that I can go and rent a plane and get in the plane and fly it around by myself is
I have to say,
unbelievable.
that actually almost made my list because I got, just this last vacation, I got to go and in Utah, and it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. And I heard you talking about it so much that I finally know what you mean, because being in a tiny plane like that, and the moment where the guy says, okay, now you are in control, and I need you to turn right, and you go, woo,
and the thing goes like this.
It's absolutely intoxicating. It's really awesome. I mean, I wasn't intoxicated.
Taking off is even better.
The word I would
taking off. Taking off is
well, yeah, I did actually, because we did a couple of
stop and goes.
Yeah. And he was like, okay, do the throttle and pull back, and I
crazy,
it was
right?
Amazing. It's amazing.
Unbelievable. It's such a free feeling.
Yeah.
So that, my friends, was 2009 in a nutshell. So much more stuff happened in 2009 than we could cover here. So many more games and TV shows.
And it looks like 2010 is going to be even crazier.
2010 is going to be nuts. My one prediction is, if Star Wars Old Republic lands in 2010, it will be the best year that I have ever seen in my life.
Well, I think
it's a humble prediction.
If we were gonna come to consensus on this part of the show, I think we would have to say.
Wait, what was I think I missed something on my list.
Well, let me say something.
Oh, well, you were numbering them.
I was gonna say
but
that we have to thank everybody for watching. That is you guys are not even participating in my.
What did I say?
We thanked with Thanksgiving. It's okay. Yes.
I mean, that is the best. That is the
having
best
been doing the show. It goes without saying.
I feel like I accidentally added one. What were my 5?
I don't know. You just looked at your list.
No, but there was something on my list that
I was trying to be a nice little thing for the audience.
The thing that one of the things that was on my list that I didn't get to say was building the studio. Was the experience of building up the studio and really kind of cultivating it and getting the show going. And I don't know how
makes the show look better, which allows us to do it for
that is it
they are awesome.
For this week's edition of the Totally Rad Show. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
Until next time,
I'm
enjoy
wearing glasses next time.
Stay rad.
This is so funny. I feel like we're being punked by Dan.
All right. Fire it up, bitches. Up! All right, you ready? We're literally looking exactly like. All right, I'll take my flint off because you came in with you.
No, I think it's funny. I think you guys should do it. We'll make a thing out of it. I mean, it's ridiculous, but.
Or button yours up. Button it up.
You button yours up.
That's how I did. This is how I did it.
I can't. This is how I did.
All right.
All right, I'll button mine up.
My lord, this is gold.
It's gold.
Are you recording all this?
Yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah, this is Outtake City.